or is it European white man? Hello, Christopher Columbus. Back in the day, don't get me started on the history lesson. Because Big Boss, I know some shit, right? So we really want to talk about who is the original sex traveler, who is the original sex tourist, getting on ships, sailing all around the world, finding new lands, conquering new lands, enslaving people, enslaving the men, and impregnating all the women. Hello. So I don't want to hear it.
You a fucking colonizer.
Boss. I'm a boss. Big boss. And you know it's real talk.
Mongering. And why is it called mongering? Just simply because we go overseas. And here in the States, it's not called mongering. The same activity, basically buying pussy, paying for hoes, consorting with prostitutes, tricking, buying pussy. Here in the States, it's just called tricking. But when you go overseas, it's called mongering. And again, here in the States, it's illegal, right? Supposedly, technically, it's illegal, except for Nevada. It's illegal here in the States, but when you do it here, it's called tricking. But overseas, it's called mongering. Why is that? Nobody knows, but one of my theories, again, Big Boss is a monger philosopher. I think very deeply. I'm actually smart and I know some shit. I consider myself a monger philosopher, but one of my theories is just the term, one is, again, being old and archaic, 1500s, right? Old and archaic. 1500s, around the time when a lot of the European countries were sending out their ships to the New World, to the Americas, to America itself, to the islands and whatnot, finding these new lands, South America and whatever, and the islands, Caribbean, that they were pretty much seen as conquerors, Shout out to the conquistadors. I'm probably messing that word up. Might edit that part out. But they were seen as conquerors, going to these new lands, getting resources from the lands, sometimes, unfortunately, lightweight enslaving the people, or enslaving them, and or getting the resources, and definitely sexing their women, right? Definitely sexing the local women that looked a lot different than their pale European women back in Europe. These women from the islands, the Americans, the Caribbeans or whatnot. So these explorers on these big old ships coming out of Europe, going all over the world to the New World, finding these new lands, getting the resources, sometimes enslaving the people or working the people, definitely sexing the women. Monger kind of goes with conqueror, I think. So blah, 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 overseas from a first world developed country to a third world, second world, or developing country, right? And taking advantage, quote unquote, of, don't want to say a lesser people, but basically taking advantage of a situation, coming from an established first world economy, going to a developing nation, and pretty much taking advantage, the monger.
Big boss, big boss, big boss, and you know it's real talk. Big boss, big boss, and you know it's real talk.
Right? So we really want to talk about who is the original sex traveler, who is the original sex tourist, getting on ships, sailing all around the world, finding new lands, conquering new lands, enslaving people, enslaving the men, and impregnating all the women. Hello.
You a fucking colonizer. The family matter and the truth of the matter. It was God's plan to show y'all the liar.